Okay, hello everybody. I've had my Mavic now for a few days. I got it Saturday and I finally have all my accessories in. I have my Mavic, which I've added a little to. It now has all my FAA numbers. And on my batteries I included the FAA number in case they're separated or so they know. I have an address label inside of it, just in case. The only thing I still need to do, I need to print up one and stick my phone number on it, so that my phone number is on there somewhere, should it somehow end up someplace not with me, and someone else wants to find it. I added a couple little stylized things just to be cute. I also had bought this cute little sticker set that comes in 2 sets of colors, and I added the little jaws and eyeballs on it because to me, I look at this thing and it looks like a hammerhead shark or some kind of a reef shark or something, just looking at the nose of it. Well, the stock gimbal guard is great should you need it and all, if you were flying in dirty conditions or something where you're worried about dirt getting on the lens or in the gimbal. But if you don't want to use that, I also bought this little sunshade gimbal, which is very handy, which I fly with it mostly, so that it does offer some protection should you crash it, that something's going to have to hit right in between the hole to actually hit the gimbal. But other than that, if you were to just hit the ground or something, it offers a reasonable amount of protection, and it gives you a little bit of sunshade over the lens to keep some of the bright overhead sun from hitting it so much. And it doesn't seem to get in the shot too much unless you're doing really booking it going forwards or something, which you shouldn't be doing if you're doing quality footage anyway. I also bought a leg extender kit, so in case you are landing in grass or something, you can snap them on. And personally, I find that I like them pretty good. Gives it a little bit taller stance and makes it work a little better for that. I don't see any effects to the flight abilities. Easiest way is just lay it upside over. That way you can gently slip the legs on. I also bought this little set of leg extenders that go on the back legs, which are actually shorter than this mount, but they just simply slip on and go over the backs. And in a way, I'm not entirely sure that they're not a bad idea anyway, just so that in case somehow you landed really rough, that when it is there, if you have the other extenders on, it can't tip over far enough for these props to ever hit the ground and all, unless you did something really bad and all. Or even you can fly without it, or without the center, and just fly with those two, and it leaves you kind of nosed up like how the Mavic normally sets, but still with an extra inch and a half of ground clearance, which can be nice because the Mavic does set notoriously very low. No, I have not found that the leg kit affected any of the accuracy as far as the return to home sensing or anything. The camera sensors, they all work fine either way. As many other people have noted, it does do good that when you take off with the Mavic, jump it up to 20-30 feet so it gets a good ground picture of a large area so that it can better identify its return to home. But in my experience, it hits within 4 to 6 inches at most, typically. No, the only time I've had it not hit that is if I try to do a return to home and I'm already 3 feet off the ground. No, it doesn't zero in as well. I did buy the Flymore combo, and I still came with this little bag and everything, which is great. It carries the Mavic. You can cram the batteries inside or something, but it's just kind of limited to me and all. I mean, it's great if all you wanted to do is carry it, but one thing I would suggest is I bought a pair of these little joystick protectors, which are a marvelous idea, especially if you're going to be sticking your joystick in a loose bag or in your pocket, that you can just slip that right over your joysticks, and now you don't have to worry about your joysticks getting a lot of excess strain or something in your pocket or the bag scratching up the lens. So that is a worthwhile little buy. I paid $7 and I actually got a red one and a black one over here. So it wasn't bad. I got 2 of them for the same price. Most of them I saw were in the same price range, but you only got 1 of them. So some of them had a little Velcro strap, others didn't. I don't really see the need for it, but worst case, put a rubber band on it or whatever. You know, but it's a very handy little thing. I did, however, take off of this bag, because this bag came with a nice little shoulder strap or whatever to help you carry it, and I found that I could take the shoulder strap and I attached the little pieces that attach, or that will attach to the side buckles, and I can just snap right to it, and it makes a very nice neck lanyard. Neck lanyard. And that works out very well. I did also buy a tablet holder to hold my phone or tablet and all, which is somewhat useful because if you have a phone in a case or a tablet that's too big to fit and all, or too thick, this holds it much better, or can hold it nice and all. And that the only problem is if you have a thick case, they still don't hold well in it either. And as I discovered, my older tablets and older cell phone were not enough to handle the processing speed required to keep up with the DJI Go app. So ultimately, I may do some research and either get another better tablet, either Android, or begrudgingly, if I have to, go to an iPad, which I loathe. But if it's going to be what's going to work best, I'm probably going to get stuck with that, having to go with that option. It does, however, work very well on my new Samsung S7. It keeps up with the app just fine. It runs very nice. It looks very smooth for everything I've tried so far. But I've only been doing it for, well, since Saturday that I've had it, and with the drone. One more combo did the bird itself came with 1 set of props. The Flymore combo came with, or 1 set of 2 stair props, so that was half a full set. And then the Flymore combo came with 2 more sets, you know, which is very nice. So that, or what they call a set, but I call it a half a set. No, so I actually have a full set and a half of props. So that's 3 clockwise, 3 counterclockwise props. I'd seen this suggested and all, and it really is not a bad idea. It's this cute little GetterBack recovery system designed for fishing rods, but it really isn't a bad idea for if you're going to be flying a drone over a lot of water, that it could give you a valuable way to get it back if the bad thing ever happens and you end up splashing it in the water. That in theory this little thing is going to release after a couple of minutes and shoot the little capsule up to the top with 100 feet of line on it. So, you know, and it attaches quite easily. You know, I would probably opt to either put it on the bottom of a skid, of one of the rear skids, or on the side. But that way it's installed. You can either install it down here on the bottom, or I also played with installing it like back here on the back side. I don't have it tightened up real good right now. But that way it would ride. Oh, and actually probably on the back side there is probably one of the better places. If you had it right there, it should be able to come off free of the props. It rides very snugly. You shouldn't have any problem with it causing any propeller problem. If anything, it's just going to get blown down a little bit by the prop wash. A little clear. So that's something, if you haven't thought about it and you know you're going to be flying over a lot of water, especially often, hey, it's a good idea, especially if you're flying over deep water. You know, it doesn't guarantee you're going to get it back. It's a whole lot easier, especially if you're flying over what's potentially murky water that is not diveable, or you're going to have low or no visibility. That is going to be a very hard retrieval, no matter how good you are and what amount of gear you have with you. The 5mm Kondo does come very nicely with 2 extra batteries, which I have all 3 here. I've been cycling through them, trying to keep them on even rundown. The Kondo I got from Get the Motor came a little lens claw, memory card cleaner, or a little memory card reader, which I got over in another case. I'll show you here in a minute. I bought better memory for it because it came with a 16 gig. I now have 3 of these Samsung 64 gig SD cards that are rated for 100 megabit read, 60 megabit write, which should be fine to keep up with the specs called for the recording of any of the footage that this thing will do. No, I have 2 of them left for the drone. I took one of them on my cell phone. No, I also bought this little parabolic dish that goes on your remote. I have played with it a little bit. I have not done enough testing to be able to say it was a good idea or a bad idea. But especially if for some reason you are flying out at range or in a really heavy Wi-Fi area or something that you're getting a lot of interference, it might not be a bad idea. But just remember, you've now just made your remote very directional, so this signal is only going out in front of you. So make sure you keep it pointed at the drone. I did notice that when I had it on, that if the drone was out there and I start to point it over here, I start to lose signal. So make sure to be mindful of that if you're going to use one of these. But they're very easy, it just lets on and off. Just a little bit. Just check where it's positioned. I think I'm missing half of what I want. Yeah, let me get up there a little bit. Alright. Let's see how I can do. I'm getting low on battery. So, on camera I should have put a new battery in. And of course I have the car charger and the wall charger, and the Flymore Kondo came with the multi-battery charger, which only sequentially charges, but it will charge all 3 batteries in a row. From what I have researched and heard, it charges them based on the least charged battery to the most charged battery and all. It also came with this cute little thing so that you can plug your battery in and generate 2 USB outs to charge a phone or whatever. But now you're sacrificing some drone battery to power other devices. But hey, if your devices or your phone or whatever is dying and you don't have enough battery, but you've got extra drone batteries, it's not a bad idea. You can at least do that to help salvage some power. Alright. Now, I finally got in what I've been waiting for, and that is my new card case for this. And miraculously, it all fits. So, let me just see here. Just check the battery, make sure I haven't lost battery on the camera. It's still going, but it's blinking. Alright. This is the Nanook 920 made for the Mavic. No, it's really, truly, it was thought out and made for the Flymore Kondo plus a little extra. No. One thing I did notice though is, I need to do that to the other two, is originally when I put the batteries in, I noticed that the battery set really high, and I pulled out this little bit of this other little about ½ or 3/8 of foam out of these 2 pockets, and it makes my battery set much nicer down in. I can still grab a hold of them easily, but it doesn't reduce the lid pressure a little bit. And in a second, I'll pop out the ones on the other 2, so it gives me just a little bit more storage because I don't need all that extra padding on the bottom. I also bought these cute little battery dust covers that can protect the charge terminals on your battery, so that you get this battery thrown in your pocket or carrying it around, you're not getting the terminals all dirty or dusty. You know, they pop on and off really easy. They seem to stay pretty good. It seemed like it was a decent suggestion from one of the other reviewers that I'd watched through on suggested accessories. You know. This one out. There. I've got all those out of the way. This case also has a little slot for a tablet, allegedly. It'll fit a cell phone. That's probably about it, or a really small tablet. Now this is the handy dandy little SD card reader, which I have one of the adapters in. It takes a full-size SD card. It's not like it's one of the ones that just takes a micro SD, which would have been handier, but since most of the micro SDs come with the adapter, not a big deal. Still handy to have. If you didn't already have one, I got one with the condo, and it was the same price. Got it all through Amazon. Shipping was quick. Nothing to complain about there. And I leave my little gimbal guard, or the little gimbal lock guard, stored in here because, as someone else had suggested, it's a great and wonderful thing. If you know you're going to be traveling a distance or long term, it's a really good idea to put on there. The only downside is when you put it on there, you have to remember to take it off. And I discovered that realized that when I powered up the drone one time when I was just going to go and plug the USB cord into the drone to download some footage rather than pulling the card out. And realized that, oh yes, you have to pull the guard. It was a little unhappy. So, if you are carrying it in a case like this, I don't see that you should have any trouble at all. It's made to take a pretty good little jolt and all. It shouldn't have any trouble with handling a little bit that's in there. So now let's see what happens when I put it all back in. Break the legs. Pull the leg kits off. Cover back on, and it does come with this cute little rubber cap to help keep you from scratching up the lens. And it does have a little slot in it, so you can fly with it on. And all, despite the couple of people that were like, "Oh no, you can't," but it does allow airflow because this thing does have a fan in it. It is, once it's warmed up, it is blowing air through to cool itself off. It does store up very nicely. I find myself that it's like if I can go and tuck the trots kind of right in. They just kind of almost catch right inside of that rear skid, keeping it all nice and neatly. The drone fits perfectly into this case. They did a very good job. It's made out of very nice high density foam that you shouldn't have any trouble with it wearing out or degrading, as opposed to like if you had a little pull and pluck foam kind of thing and all. Which I almost bought one like that, but after reading a few reviews, they're like, yeah, they work great for a week or a month or whatever, and then they started to fall apart. So something to think about in choosing the case. Two, everyone. Accessories, all my little legs all fit in one of the extra battery slots. This case could hold up to 5 batteries if you used all 4 battery slots. And if you use all 5 battery slots plus the one in the drone, which may or may not be as advisable. I don't see it being a big issue one way or the other. Controller, folks up. I personally find with where I've put the little handles on, the controller stores better upside over than right side up. It's kind of designed that, hey, it works. Goes in either way, doesn't give it any fuss. fits in real nicely. That way I can just tuck the little connectors in. I'll let them sit on top. There's plenty of room on top. I have stored a couple of extra USB cables behind the top phone just because it was an easy way to keep them out of my way. No, they're just charging off of here. Even the little tower block fits right nice and neatly in the little slot. Not sure why they didn't put it more that way, but why they didn't make some of these holes a little deeper, but everything fits very nicely as far as I can see. Oh, and the drone itself is very nicely recessed. It's like the only thing that's up is just the props a little bit. You could opt to take the props off, and then you'd have zero height up, or possibly just go and teal out that bottom layer, or see it up. If they did the same thing with having 2 layers of foam at the bottom, then you could go and take one more layer of foam out, so that you only have like a 3/8 layer. This whole foam insert does lift right out. Very nice there. You can pull it out. You could reuse this case at some point. I just double check my battery. You know, it's still going. Yeah, it's still going. And all my chargers, the wall charger, the car charger. Also, I have the I used the little slot there. Drop the manuals into it. They fit real nicely. Seemed like a good place as any to put them, just so that you have them with you in case, especially as a new flyer. If you have a question about something in a menu, possibly, you might be able to look it up there. And I stored my little extra stickers. It did come with 2 sets of stickers. I used the blue set. Still has a black-eyed set. And plus I have an extra set of numbers 1 through 4 for batteries. Label. And there's still a couple other stray accessories I don't have. I'm not carrying the lightning cable or the adapter for an S8 style, or it's using the new USB-C style. What did that fit in? My little radar thing does fit very nicely right into this other little battery slot I discovered, which that works out very nicely. Ooh, and I can actually stick the little lens cleaning cloth in there. It'd be a nice place to store it when I'm not using it. So that will fit right in there. My gimbal guard can either fit in here, or extra gimbal guard can fit there, or over here with the battery, or with the chargers. Even my little recovery can fit here. I could easily throw an extra SD card behind, or with having a single SD card and 64 gig, I got like 2 hours of record time, so it's not really an issue. Put my little made it neck strap. Someday I'll probably buy an actual neck strap for this, but hey, this works for now. And let's say I do like this case. It's got a nice positive locking system. So you release it, catch it. Oh, just that would be like that was up in the seal. That's much better. Now you click, and you're good to go. It does have its own automatic pressure relief, so that it doesn't overpressure. It's waterproof, overpressurized. It's waterproof. Has a lifetime warranty, or a warranty for the lifetime of the case, whatever that means in English. Seems to be made very well. Balancer sets up good. Has good heavy hinges all the way through, from what I can see. I do like the little, so you can't just lift it up. You have to pull down, and then it releases. But all in all, everything looks great. Everything fits. Holds all my accessories really nicely. Nothing looks to be getting smushed. So I must say. I'm very happy with my choice of case. This case is available in a variety of colors. I chose yellow just because it would be highly findable should for some reason be on a boat or someplace. Or if you set it down someplace, it's going to show up a lot more than a black case, a brown case, a olive drab, or green, or any other numerous colors. So, that should be it for now. Thanks for watching. Oh, actually, one other thing that I did get, or two other things that I did get. I have a set of prop guards, which I don't know if I will ever use them, but I'd rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them should I be flying in close proximity, indoors, around really close to trees or some other type area. Oh, this was the little leg kit. It actually came as a combo that was the leg kit, the gimbal guard, and the prop guard. It was 20 bucks, which wasn't bad. No, usually the leg kit by itself was like $7 and the gimbal was another $6 or so, and the prop guard was 10 to 12. I also got a landing pad just in case I wanted to take off from a sandy location or a grassy location so that the gimbal is not down in the ground, and that will give you a cleaner, much cleaner. It comes with 3 stakes. And you can have either the blue side or the orange side. This one I think I paid like $17.99 for. There's a variety of them out there that you can buy in the 17 to or like 18 to 20. I've seen some go up to like 30, but it's the exact same one, just by a different manufacturer, a different seller. So shop around. You shouldn't have to pay over $20 for one of these unless it's much bigger. Now this one, I forget the diameter on this one. I think this is a 30-inch diameter. Tape measure handy. No, I do not have a tape measure handy. This, I believe, is the 30-inch circle. They do make one that's a larger circle, which if you were flying an Inspire or something big, you might want the larger one. But, hey, I'm flying a Mavic. It's not that big. It's only about a foot across. This is just a fine and decent size. Worked out very well. Well, it's the only thing that doesn't really fit in the box, and I don't see any. Also, it did come with some nice little reflectors so that you can apply them to it should you be landing at night or something for some reason, or you just wanted to stick them on there. And that is it, I think. Should be everything. Yep, that's all. Alright, thanks for watching. Go have fun flying.